That's what I need. I need more faces like what Mike was doing when I do that. So inspiration to Mike and negative inspiration to Paul. No, you guys don't have negative inspiration. I liked it. I liked it a little, but we could have had more. So let that be a lesson to you all. Well, we're live, folks. Hello, friends. Hello, people of the internet. Hi, Mom. Joking. She doesn't watch this show. It's sad. Strained relationship will survive. But anyway, just laying my business out there on the internet. But welcome back to another 56th episode of Heroes Die Show. You're entering the preamble, the civility era before the game really starts, where we talk about all the real good stuff out there. So hang out or don't, whatever. It's your life. I'm not like your boss, and I don't claim that power over you, but still good to have you. Good to see you. And let's get to BS. And folks, what's up? What's new? Josh, any new cats?
No. But that is a really good plug. The Meowrathon is coming up. And
already?
Yes, it is that time of year. So I don't have the dates off the top of my head. I'm coming in unprepared. But if you go to our Twitter account, we've shared it. You can go to the OD&D. That'll be the official one. But I'll post the links here in the chat. But if you're interested in, right now they're looking for DMs to sign up. So if you're interested in running a game, they're looking for people. And the signups for players will be coming out soon. So stay tuned. So while I don't have any new cats, there's an opportunity for you to play games and view lots of streaming live cats. So there you go.
View cats.
So fun.
Maybe get yourself a cat.
Maybe adopt. Yes.
Maybe adopt. Paula, you going to be DMing this year? You going to try it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think you could. I think you could. Right. I think you could. It's just a matter of being willing, but I bet you could.
I've DM'd for my parents before.
Hit me up. I'll help you out.
Okay.
You've DM'd for your parents?
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. That's pretty cool.
Parents that's pretty fun. Cool. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'd love to see you DMing for the Meowrathon. I have a question actually for the people out there, and if you get a second to say something in chat, love to hear your opinions. But we've been talking a little bit about Shadow Dark and maybe trying a little thing in Shadow Dark. So would anyone like to see a little Heroes Die Shadow Dark dungeoning? Now that we're doing a dungeon crawl, maybe we can do one there. So let us know your thoughts.
What is Shadow Dark?
So good question. So Shadow Dark is another RPG, and it's meant to be kind of like that old school style. So very very grim, very murdery, very dungeon focused. So
that sounds very fun.
Is it like one of the like OSR games, that old school Renaissance, like based on second edition but adapted to modern sensibility type games?
So you're past what I know about. I don't really know. I've heard people talk about OSR, but I don't really know what it is. Like I know there's a number of games that are OSR games, but what makes one an OSR game and what doesn't, I don't know. But anyway, it seems like it's supposed to be fun. I also don't remember like second edition being particularly like high fatality. But that
I feel like especially with any game played before they were primarily played online, that it really depended on what table you were playing at. And like a lot of times you only had like one person DMing for your whole time playing the game because you only knew one DM,
Yeah,
so
that was Warren. He was my...
Right, exactly, right. Everyone has that picture of their one DM in their head from if you played as a kid. So I feel like it was super dependent on who that one DM was, what your game was actually like.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm always curious about that. So anyway, that's been on my mind as I've been designing dungeons, as I've been preparing dungeons and dragons for all of you. As I've been preparing dungeons and dragons.
No one said anything about both.
Oh yeah.
You can only handle one at a time.
Oh, come on now.
We're gonna find out. So
I thought it was Dungeons and or Dragons.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I plan
they
on
just
putting
wanted
the
that
end in this one.
fancy ampersand. It's all about marketing, and that ampersand is just the coolest symbol there is. So
yeah, it's pulling all the weight there.
Yeah. Well, enough typography. What else we got going, folks? I think that's it. Typography, is that right? Typesetting. You know what I'm saying. You'll get my point. I don't need to be a word genius. Yeah, exactly. Anything else we got going? Paula, any interesting news from the antique clothing world?
Yeah, actually, yesterday I got back a sample from a reproduction motoring coat that I had a pattern taken off of. It's an original garment from the early 1900s, and it's like a long coat that people would wear like over their clothes when cars were like open and you would get like dirt and dust and stuff on you, so you would put this coat on.
Awesome.
And it's
the
a
coat
cool
you use to protect your other coat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a cool coat, and I had one, and I wanted to make more of them, so I had a pattern made off of it, and I got the sample back, and it looks really cool.
Oh, nice.
So
There's gonna be some motoring coats out there, folks.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I want one right away.
You get first dibs.
I don't have any clothing from the early 1900s, but I'm pretty sure I still have some stuff from the late 1900s floating around. So if you have any interest in that, I'm pretty sure that there's some still in my closet somewhere.
The 90s were definitely my jam, but so were the 1890s. So, yeah.
Yeah, you got them both, right? You got them both. I was looking at some of my t-shirts. Like I'm at that point where like my t-shirts are so old that they're becoming threadbare. And I'm like, like I shouldn't be able to see through what's in my shoulder. That's strange. This is a good t-shirt though, so I'm torn, right? Well, it's
Save them.
Torn. Oh.
Save them for a little while longer, then you can sell them as vintage, and they'll be worth a lot.
Just don't wear them because you might end up in that really weird position where you're in public and you don't know you're wearing one of your old shirts and you stretch and it's like, I can see Jason's nipples.
Yeah.
Funny. Some people do that intentionally, so
yeah, it's true. Well, yeah, that's a market too.
So my wife made me get rid of this pair of shorts because she's like, "Oh, I can see your butt while you're wearing it." I'm like, "No, you can't." And then I looked, I was like, "Oh, yep, you could definitely see my whole butt while I'm wearing these shorts." It was a problem. Because I was out there flashing people everywhere. Turns out, change your clothes, people.
That's
when your wife says get rid of something, get rid of something. And I'll be like, "Oh no, it's fine." Well, that's not how I'm gonna live my life anymore. But
send it away for a reproduction pattern, and you can get that remade in the original vintage fashion. I think I'm onto something here.
There you go.
Yeah, in 100 years, they're gonna be like, "Bro, people in the 2000s, they showed their butts everywhere." It's amazing. Get some of these shorts. Too late though. Time for us to show our metaphorical butts with Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome to another episode of Heroes Die Show. Don't think about it. Just roll with it. Time for another game of Heroes Die Show. Folks, welcome. I'm Jason. I'm your game master. I'm joined by the amazing cast of Heroes Die Show, who are going to introduce themselves in the order of Josh, Mike, and Paula. And go ahead, folks.
Hello, I am Josh, and I'll be playing Zagran Beltoon. And I want to let you know that not only can you watch us play this game and get a sense of our personalities and our characters, but if you want to bring some of that to your table, we have stuff that we have made ourselves that you can get at patreon.com/Heroes Die Show. And this is like a pretty good kept secret. It's a Patreon, so it's like a subscription thing, but you can actually just subscribe and get all of the back catalog of our games and stuff that you can use for 5e, for different systems. One-time purchase. It's a secret. You don't have to stay subscribed, but you can get, don't tell anybody. That's just for you watching early. And then send your friend and don't tell them that so they can subscribe, and then we can keep building more and more games. But yes, head to patreon.com/heroesdieshow and bring some of the fun of our table to your table. And how else can you get some of our influence on your life?
Well, you could go to your local crazy house and mug them for their mugs, or you could just come down to our big cartel site and purchase some, physical merchandise, or if you don't have a computer, right, and you can't get our digital property, come and get some physical stuff like keychains and sweaters and shirts and hats and all that sort of magical stuff. Paula, do you have something to say to people?
Well, if you do have a computer, oh, by the way, I'm Paula and I play Kit. But if you do have a computer, it would be great if you followed us on social media, because that's where we are. We're on the internet, and you can find us on all of the social media platforms: TikTok, X/Twitter, YouTube. Our handle's all the same. It's @HeroesDieShow everywhere. We've got updates on our schedule, what's going on, like the Meowrathon. You can find information about that on our Twitter. We've got DM tips. We've got funny videos. We've got all of our videos from the past you can watch on YouTube. So go check it out. We would love to have you follow us there. We would be very happy, and it means a lot.
Nice. Great work, everybody. With that, I want to say a couple quick thank yous. I want to say thank you to the folks out there watching. We really appreciate you spending the time with us. It's a lot of fun to do the show, but it's really nice to know that we get to share it with some folks. So thanks for being there. Don't forget to hop in Discord if you like it and if you like chatting. I want to say thank you to you, awesome cast, who joins us and really makes the story what it is. I know I've said it before, right? But I was thinking it through, right? There literally is no story without your characters, and it's really fun. And I appreciate y'all showing up week after week. I want to say thank you to the folks that make awesome, interesting 5e content that we get to use, right? We use maps very often by Dice and Logos, which is totally worth checking out. And there's a whole world of really great 5e content out there that I highly recommend you check out. And I think that was it. Oh, we want to say thank you to the folks at Tabletop Audio for making the amazing music that we get to use. It's great for all kinds of use cases. Fun to use while you're prepping. You can get yourself in the right mindset to really cause some emotional trauma to your friends by listening to Tabletop Audio. And with that, we're gonna send you an intro video, and then we'll be back with episode 56. Hold on to your butts, people.
Ah, old friend, you're here again. So glad you could stop by. Come, sit a while and let's begin. The tale of heroes die. In distant lands are stories made with villains most despised. A tale of magic, strength, and blade. Of camaraderie and lies. It's one I know quite well, you see. Perhaps you'll find out why. The legends and the histories remember. Heroes die.
I'm trying to think.
You have a
what's that
rigged die?
Cheating for? Like what
Here
game?
it is, folks.
What game is that cheating?
I have no clue.
I think it must have been from like a magic set. That's my
You
guess.
think?
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, good call. I was thinking it was like a Warhammer thing, because like you have to get closer to 6. 5 and 6 are pretty up there. You're rolling a lot of d6s, so I can picture some people making some marked ones.
All right. Learning how to cheat at Warhammer right there, folks. But we didn't come to hear about that. We came here to see some heroes die. So let's drop right back into this episode.
Did we?
Well, We'll see. We'll see. When last we left our heroes, they were in a bit of a situation, right? You had entered into this cavern complex deep uh deep below the lost city of Aor. And you'd found something unusual. We're going to call it a hive. You'd found a hive of creatures. Maybe hive's the wrong word, but that's the best analogy we have. You'd found some fairly strange creatures, and now we get to use my music. There we go. As we're recapping this. We'd found some fairly strange creatures. You had found some fairly strange creatures living in this tunnel system. There was lots of slime, lots of tendrils, lots of what are they? Mud. What was this thing?
Mud daubers or
Blizzards.
dirt
There were
daubers.
blizzards.
Mud daubers. That's right, and blizzards. Mud daubers and blizzards. So a lot of weird structures. You had encountered a number of creatures. You had fought them in a pretty intense but short conflict, and then you made your way into this strange crystal chamber where you found something that looked like a cross between one of these aliens and a wizard. One of these aliens and a wizard. And there you'd had a brief conversation where it instructed you to open the way to the what was it? What did it say? Something about the old ones? I can't even remember now. Anyway, open the way into the complex of the old ones. And as you headed further down into the ruins, quick sidetrack, you found an old temple to the Raven Queen, and Kit was lured over there by Murdo, where you had a brief interaction with a man that claimed to be Kit's father. Dun, dun, dun. Following that, you descended into the lower level and found in the entrance cavern a giant freaking worm. And so when last we left our heroes, you had entered into this room and you see this big ass worm laying there in the center of this cavern.
What kind of worm?
And with that, really good question. Thank you, Mike, for the clarifying question there. This
I
thing
hope the answer is sour and gummy.
Yeah, a small one, and it's delicious.
No, it is literally gargantuan. Like it takes up a massive amount of space. It's got to be 15 feet in diameter, right? For where you see it. It looks like on the outside there's this layer of blackened tubes, essentially, as its skin, and peeking underneath you can see this this hot red material, almost like magma, but not quite. You can see when you see through the layers of outside skin, or skin maybe being a loose term, what you see between those blackened layers on the outside almost looks like writhing creatures inside. Like this may be a collection of a number of smaller creatures. The worm is inactive. But as you get closer, you see it begin to move. This whole room is filled with a deep sulfurous smell, right? Like it's acrid. Your eyes burn a little bit, and it's hard to see with all the smoke in the air. The ground, everywhere you look, the ground is marked with holes and looks jagged, as if a bit like volcanic rock looks, right? Like little sections are melted and it's jagged everywhere. It's difficult to move around in this room. And the walls have a number of holes in them, as if the worm digs through the walls to enter and exit. Oh, and of course there are troughs through the ground here in places where the worm has moved.
Okay.
So it's not moving. Or it's starting to kind of stir.
It's stirring, but it hasn't started doing anything quite yet.
Okay, can I give a quick little scope around the room? I just want to, without going in or disturbing the worm, just looking around. Points of egress, I'm looking for, like, what's the ceiling like?
Yeah, so the ceiling has some stalactites in it. The ceiling has some stalactites in it. It looks like a regular stone ceiling. It is fairly high, so it goes up to 30 feet high in here. In places, potentially even higher. There is an egress point to your east. A relatively large opening leads somewhere, and then to the southwest, there's another much larger egress.
Okay. All right. Sorry, someone's driving by. Okay. At least we found what's making those tunnels. I think we may have bitten off a little more than we can chew.
Well, I suppose if it stays in its hibernative state, we might be able to pass by without alerting it to our presence. We'll have to move quickly and quietly, but that's within our wheelhouse.
As you begin speaking to each other, you see things start to slide around. And what looks like the front turns towards you. All those overlapping black, it's almost like a tube, right? Like the skin is made of a bunch of like really rough, like blackened stone tubes. They all meet in kind of a point, and you can see now that they're coming together like fingers right at the front, and as it does it, they begin to spread apart this layer, and then you see these thin red tendrils begin to slide out of the opening and move around in the air as if it is trying to sense things.
Kiss just gonna look at the others and hold her finger to her lips, and then point.
Zagran will nod. Does it have eyes, visible eyes that we can see?
Absolutely not.
Gotcha. It might be looking at us.
It senses with these little weird fingery things. Okay. All right. Are we fighting or flighting? What do you think?
The worm begins sliding over towards the eastern entrance. Zagran, it's coming pretty close to where y'all are at. But it still is moving fairly slow, and you see that mouth opens a little bit wider, right? That front opening, orifice, begins opening wider, and you can see inside a number of those little tubes, like the blackened ones on the outside, all kind of moving independently inside this thing. And it's hot. Like, as it gets close to you, this thing is just radiating light, like a lot of light, and it's hot. Like, the closer it gets, the hotter it gets near it. And some of those tendrils are beginning to reach out more in y'all's direction.
Can we just quickly skirt around the west side of the room, with Kit kind of leading the way to beckon the others?
Yeah, go ahead and start. So you begin. Yeah, great. You begin moving, and as soon as you move, Kit, this thing orients towards the movement. And lifts up significantly higher in the air. It's that maw, or that orifice, opens really wide now. The inner tubes begin extending out, and it lets out a tremendous roar. And with that, let's get some initiative.
Plan B.
Lovely.
Plan B.
Oh, interesting.
Off to a good start with a nat 1.
Oh no.
Great. Get it out of the way early.
That's true. I rolled a 13.
15.
Okay. So, Kit, you have a what? A 13?
13.
Okay. Figment, you have 15? Figment, you are up first, man.
How far away is that east exit?
It starts almost right by you, like within 10 feet. But it goes further than that. You can't quite tell how much further from where you are.
All right. Yeah. As the thing notices Kit, Figment's going, Plan B, and he casts Dimension Door and makes a little tiny door in front of him. And then like these little blue orbs go up, and then they connect, zing, 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 and it opens. It's like a little mystic stone door.
Nice. And are you going towards the south, or are you going towards the east exit?
Oh, it was moving toward the
east. Sorry, it was moving towards the east exit.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the other one if I can. Just a door right in there.
So you want to go all the way to as far as you can see towards the east exit.
I think so, right? I mean, logically, if it's moving toward a door, I don't want to teleport into the hallway of the door it's headed toward.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense. So when you get over there, Mike, you see something pretty interesting. So there's a fairly steep cliff and drop down ahead of you. There's a fairly steep cliff and drop down ahead of you, but on the other side of that, you see a structure, like a really sturdy structure carved into the stone walls of the cave, and that area, which should be dark, is lit by these two floating crystals, right? Like jagged-looking crystals, and you can see lightning just running around the edges of these crystals. These crystals are at the top of these 15-foot tall stone towers, and these crystals just hover right above. You also see these large iron statues on either side of this stone structure and the entryway there.
Right. On my way through, I'm basically saying, like, one person can come.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, no one was near you when you went there.
No one was 5 feet from me?
No,
well,
but you could have moved over
yeah.
to Zagrin and grabbed him if you wanted.
Move Zagrin over there. Well, no, I'd want to grab Kit because she was the one in danger. How far did you get, Kit?
If you look on the map, I was like right.
Yeah, like 15 feet away from you. You could have grabbed her if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I make it next to Kit, and I'm like, "Come!" Goes
Yoink.
through, sees all that ish. I can't see anything on the map, just so you know. Worry not. I'm playing Theater of the Mind. I visualize it. I'm there, Jason.
What is wrong with you, Mike? Damn it. All right. Well, fair enough. You should be able to. So we'll troubleshoot that later. Okay, great. Great. So you grab Kit and you head down there. Anything else for Figment?
No.
Take
no.
that
All
as
good.
no. Awesome.
All good.
Kit, you're up.
All right, I just got yoinked through.
Yeah, you've been pulled across the room, so now the creature's a fair bit further than you, or away from you, but it's not gone by any means.
And it's still within range of my dagger.
You'd have to move, I think, a little bit to be in close range, but yeah.
So what, like here?
Yeah, that'd work.
That
Then
work?
you'd be 20
Okay.
feet away. Yep.
Okay. So I'll just recover and then take 1 or 2 steps forward to get a little bit closer, take out my dagger. I will use steady aim, I think is what it's called. Yeah, steady aim. To give myself advantage on my attack roll, and then I will.
If you moved, you can't use steady aim, right?
Does that count as? Oh, yeah. I moved. So what happens if I don't move? If I'm 25 feet away, it's disadvantage.
You'd be at disadvantage, yeah. So steady aim would give you an even roll.
Risk it for the biscuit. But not if that biscuit was death.
But I wouldn't get my sneak attack damage. Either way, in either case. Okay.
There might be.
You could move an ally within 5 feet, right? Oh, Zagrin's within 5 feet.
I'm within 5 feet, so yeah, you wouldn't get advantage, but you could still get sneak attack because I'm close enough.
Then I will move closer and not do steady aim, and then attack. And I had pre-rolled, and that was 33 points of damage.
Okay.
And
sorry. What was the hit?
I guess you do need to know that. It was 15 plus. I'm pretty sure it would hit. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It's 23.
Yeah, that hits.
Whew, okay, that's good.
Oh boy. Okay. Yes.
Okay. And I'm not. Well, I'll call Murdo over to me.
Okay.
And then I will not forget to do Calamity's turn. So that's all for Kit. Calamity. Man, this thing is fiery, so I don't know if that means it's not gonna. Well, she'll attack it anyway. She will. I think she has one of her twin bolts left, I think. So she will use twinned bolt and cast firebolt twice.
Okay.
So did it go twice?
It did, yeah.
Okay. So the first one is a 23 to hit.
That hits.
Second one, I'm thinking doesn't hit. It's a 9.
It doesn't. You think this thing's about AC 18.
Okay.
That's just what you're thinking.
That's
that's what you're thinking. You're thinking
sense.
based on my experience.
I have a good sense of that. Okay. Calamity's gonna move over. What does she have? 30 feet of movement?
25, yeah.
25. 1, 2, 3, 4. She'll move here.
Okay.
And Yantha will come with her. And that's our turn.
All right. Mr. Worm, what are you going to do? That's an unfair assumption. Worm is going to... The worm is going to try and eat Zagrin. So Zagrin, this thing, just falls down towards you. Its mouth falls down towards you and it tries to bite you. That's a 25 to hit.
Hit.
You take 34 piercing damage, and I need you to make a DC 18, or I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Whatever DC it could be. Could be anything.
Well, I hope it's a 10, because that's what I got.
So this thing goes down and slams its face into the ground where Zagrin is, and as it comes up, there's no more Zagrin there. There's no more
two
Zagrin
legs
there.
sticking out of his mouth.
Not even. You see Zagrin
no.
get pulled down into its guts.
So I do help chill it out a little bit, and it will take 25 cold damage.
25 cold damage. Well, that's really cold for it. That cold damage seems massively effective, Zagrin. Massively effective. It did not like that. You see some of those red. Yeah, you see some of those red tendrils on the inside like turn into black and begin falling and breaking off and smashing up on the ground. And then the worm begins moving over to you all. And one of those tendrils, those things out of its mouth, reaches out and tries to wrap around Kit. That's a 17.
No.
Okay. It tries to grab you, but you manage to dodge out of the way. Okay, Zagrin. So, good news, bad news. It's really cold in there. You take an additional 21 points of fire damage as it is burning and grinding you up. You are blinded and restrained. Yeah, that's what fine. Yes, hot. As the thing is burning you up, you take 21 fire damage. Oh, no. Sorry, you don't take 21 fire damage. No, not yet. I take it back. Your go.
And I'm restrained. What was the other condition?
Blinded.
Blinded? Oh.
Can't see anything. And you can't move. Well, you can't really move.
Yeah. Does my super dark vision help me at all?
Not even a little.
Not even a little, yeah.
Like you can. It's not like it's not like there's no light. Like there's plenty of light in this creature
everywhere. I'm just looking at the inside. Right?
You're looking at the insides of its guts. Doesn't taste.
So
great
I can
either.
see the inside of its guts at least. So could I attack that because I can see?
Sure. Like, what are you trying to do?
I want to booming blade while I'm inside there. So I'm just gonna lash out at the insides. Now, do I have disadvantage because I'm blinded?
And restrained, yeah. So.
And restrained, right, exactly. That makes sense. All right, let's see how this works. All right, so 15 does not hit. So then I will follow it up with another, just a regular attack for my bonus action. 17 misses. So just kind of like hurtling around in the dark, just flailing around with the flail, and to no avail.
Okay, got it. Cool. So coming back to the coming back to the top of the round. You guys got the jump on this worm as it started to get pissed off, and you were able to do some damage. However, this thing ate Zagrin. It looked like that frosty armor that he has was particularly effective against this fiery bastard. But he's disappeared into its stomach, and y'all can't see him anymore. And so we find ourselves now with the worm rolling up on Kit. We have Calamity, Figment, and Kit still outside the worm, and Zagrin in the belly of the beast, so to speak. So Kit, we resume this round with you.
Isn't it?
With Figment. Yep.
Figment first.
I'm sorry, I'm just so used to you always having.
Usually I'm first.
All right. So, I mean, Figment's eyeing this like crystal with the lightning and everything going around, and he's like, and he's again torn between what's going on in the room. He sees this giant worm. He's going to shout something. Stand back, child! And a little green ray is going to go out, and it's going to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Let's see. It got a 5. So what does that mean? It may not be super dexterous.
No, in fact, now I have to do damage. You know what that is. Yeah, so a little tiny green ray goes out.
Disintegration ray is what that is.
And then this kind of like ring is just going to pulse and go right down the barrel of that thing. And it's 10d6 plus 40. 10d6 plus 40.
What?
It's a very good spell.
Oh my god, a lot of ones. Okay, so 29 plus 40.
69.
Nice.
The thing
The
looks
figs.
bloodied. It
Okay.
looks bloodied, but it is not down.
We need to hurt that thing. He says to Kit. Everything you've got. Come on. Let's say it.
That was so much damage. Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Yeah,
you're.
what does it look like? What does it look like, Jason? Did it?
So as you hit it, right? Like as you hit it, a number of like a section of its skin burns off and falls away into dust, but the creature like turns that wounded side away and is still facing down on Kit, and it's got a hungry look on its face. Not that it has a face, or that it can really give looks. There's a screech that reverberates through the room, and a number of the stalactites fall to the ground, crashing around you.
Does one of them hit it and kill it?
I can make everybody. In fact, let's do that. Everybody, roll me a dexterity saving throw to see how we do.
I think I should be shielded by the giant worm that's protecting
You're
me.
right. You are shielded by the giant worm.
It's just trying to save me from falling rocks. I now understand its benevolent nature.
It does. It does get hit by a falling stalactite.
28.
All right. And I take it you'll use evasion to get away from the rest of it? I think that was a great suggestion, Mike.
Yeah, I got a 15, but I'm gonna roll with advantage because I don't think that gets it. 15.
Are you even in the room?
I won't tell you. I think he's in
Am
the
I
room
in the
enough
room?
for it to count. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Give me one for Calamity. So you're gonna spend your inspiration to roll
2.
your second one.
Yeah. Okay, much better.
Calamity. What's her? Sorry, I don't have her sheet. She rolled 6.
Okay, so Calamity takes 16 points of damage. Figment, you take 8. You take 8 as these things come smashing down. Calamity is also knocked prone. All right. Yeah, absolutely. So sorry, Kit, your go. And the worm got whacked by one of those stalactites.
So
it was unable to get out of the way.
It's looking pretty bad.
It's looking bloodied.
Okay. Sorry. Giving her damage. So she's prone. So you said a section of the worm's skin peeled off.
Burned away, yep.
Burned away. Can I see like where Zagrin is inside of this of this creature?
Hard to tell, but there's a number of gaps in its skin, right? There's a number of gaps in that skin surrounding it, so maybe you could try and cut them out or something. What are you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping that I like noticed when he was trying to like attack from the inside, and I have a general sense that he wasn't swallowed too far down. So I am going to just like run over. Is the worm like kind of reared up?
It is now, yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of run over and like do that move where she just like slides in on her knees and trying to slash open the skin, like trying to slice it open.
Okay,
I don't know.
if you do more than 30 points of damage with your sneak attack, I'll give Zagrin one even roll on his turn to try and hit the thing, or advantage on some sort of check to get out.
Okay, so do I get my sneak attack because Zagrin's in there?
I don't
I
see
mean,
why.
of course.
I don't see why not. You've also got
I
Murdo
am
there
within
with
5 feet. I mean, within 5 feet, I'm within.
It's not gonna matter actually anyway, because I am gonna use my inspiration to roll.
you. Okay.
So that is okay. What is my bonus to that? That is a. What is my plus 10? That's a 18 to hit. Is 18 the armor class? Is 18 hit?
18's. 18 hits.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so this is not that great of a roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 10. This is 20, 25 plus 6. 25 plus 6 is 31 points of damage.
Okay. Okay, 31 points of damage. So Zagrin will. There's a little loosening for you as you're temporarily seeing a little bit of a path out. However, anything else for Kit?
Yeah, I want to try, since I'm like already there, and I sliced at the skin with my dagger. I want to go ahead and attack with my short sword, because why not?
Nice.
And I'm trying not to stab too deep. I'm trying to do more of a slashing motion. But that is a 20 to hit. And that is 1 point of damage. That's pitiful.
Nice.
Okay.
Zagrin, you're burned up a little bit, and you take an additional 21 points of damage. Sorry, Kit, were you going to say something else?
Calamity's turn.
Oh, shit, Calamity.
Yes.
Forget that. Forget what I said, Josh.
Not yet, Josh, not yet. So for Calamity, she's knocked prone. If I stand up, that's half my movement, right?
Correct.
And then I could make it over, though, to the, like, right here. With
Sure.
her.
Yeah.
Does she have, like, a dagger or anything? What does she have?
She does. She's much better off using her firebolt, but she does have a dagger.
Did this thing seem, like, when she hit it with the fire, did it seem like it did?
It seemed not particularly effective, but it didn't do nothing, right? Calamity
Still does
has
some.
the ability to damage things even if they are immune or resistant to fire.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Then, no, she's not gonna move that close, actually. She'll stay here. And she will use... Man, I don't want to burn Zagrin, though. He's in there.
He's fine.
Could I, like, hold an action for when Zagrin gets out?
I
Sure,
mean, we're
of
going to get
course.
it out when we kill this thing. It being alive is going to hurt a lot more than fire, I think. I mean, you could, just hold your action and be like,
scared. I'm scared to burn Zagrin alive even more, but okay. I'll do the burning flames. The cone.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Sure. Just move her up a little bit so you could just move her to a good position to waft a thing of flames at it. Sure. No problem.
Okay. I'll move her. Okay, yeah. And then that is whatever that did. Can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 17 fire damage.
Okay, great. Great. So let's see. Oh, there we go. It actually manages to avoid the worst of it somehow. And so it doesn't look like that was
fake.
particularly effective. Yeah.
All right. That's it for us.
All right. Now, Zagrin, you take 21 points of fire damage, and it bites Kit. It bites Kit. Kit, I need a dexterity saving throw from you. And also, you're gonna take as it slams down on you and bites down. Those terrible tendrils just raking you. You take 43 piercing damage.
Oof. Okay, dexterity saving throw is I don't know why that's so hard to find. 19. And
just avoid, like, you just slip out of the way and avoid being eaten by the thing.
oh,
Avoid being eaten by the thing. And it slides over, and a tentacle slides around Calamity, and that's a 19 to hit. So it grabs Calamity, it lifts her up, and it does 27 piercing damage, and she's grappled.
Okay, 27 piercing. The damage that I took, is it 43?
43, yes.
I think. And can I have that? I'll just
You can,
use
yes.
my action. Okay. And Calamity's was 27.
27, correct.
Okay.
And that's all it does. Zagrin, you're up.
All right, so I see maybe a little bit of an opening there. So I want to try to attack that spot in particular where I see the opening and try to... and actually, I'm going to use a Booming Blade again.
Okay. Make a straight roll.
Does a 27 hit?
It does. It does hit, indeed.
All right, so it's going to take... Oops. So it has 10 bludgeoning damage plus... let's see. Sorry, 1 second.
Plus something.
D20. Roll 20. Let's see. 4 plus another 12 thunder damage.
Okay.
And if it moves, it'll take another 2d8.
Okay.
Or no, it'll take another 3d8 if it moves. So that's my action. And then bonus action, I'd like to attack that spot again with a regular attack.
Okay. This time you're rolling with disadvantage.
Nat 1.
Okay, great. Great. So, it's definitely in bad shape, but it's not down. So just to give a sense, this thing, having already eaten Zagrin, is doing its best to eat Kit, but she's kind of slippery. So hasn't managed to get her on the hook quite yet. It has grabbed Calamity. And it's holding her. So with that, we're gonna return to our players. Figment, you're up. This thing is holding one of your new companions in the air.
Yeah.
Has eaten another and has done its best to eat Kit.
Okay, I have a question that I should know. I could replace the damage of one spell with another one, correct? Mm-hmm. Of the same level or just in my spell book?
Of the same level.
Okay. Because I'm like, I got Chill Touch as a cantrip. I could make a ice fireball. But no.
Ice ball.
Okay. Here's what's gonna happen. It's got my friends. Are you guys my friends? I mean, we just met. It's still... Okay. Jeez. Okay. I think I'm just gonna magic missile at level 5. You know? You don't think so, Jason?
I have no opinion.
That's
Mike,
good,
I
though.
have no opinion.
I mean, it's gonna hit, right? So that's, how many darts is that? 3.
3 plus 4, so 7. 7d4 plus 7.
74 plus 7. Okay, why are you laughing? All right, so yes, Figment is going to point his finger and shoot out 7 little darts.
Okay.
18 plus 7.
Yeah, so this array of balls of energy fly into the air and smash into this thing. What do you got?
It's just one at a time.
So 74, 74 plus 7.
Oh, it was 18 plus 7.
18. Okay. 25 damage. All right, you blast it. It's looking rough, but it is absolutely not down. It is absolutely not down. However, it's starting to have trouble lifting itself off. You can see that bits are falling off it all over the place. This may well be on its last legs. Although it doesn't have legs,
I'm gonna move back more into the hallway so it can't see me.
Okay. Great. Kit, you are up. So it's got Calamity. It's got Calamity and it's pulling her in towards its mouth and it's getting ready to swallow another one of your friends.
Does this thing look like it has any vital organs, or does it just look like all the same?
Hard to tell. There's a soft spot. Like where those tendrils all come together, where that opening that we're calling its mouth was. There are some pretty tender looking spots in there, although it's fairly hot. If you want to run into its mouth and attack it, I'll give you into its mouth so that if it attacks you, you are swallowed. That's it. No options. I'll let you crit on a 19 or a 20.
Oh, okay. Can I you said it has segments on its body, can I use those to kind of climb up?
Climb up? Absolutely.
Yeah, with my dagger and my short sword, I'm climbing up there and then get to the mouth and attack?
Absolutely.
Oh, I did not crit, but that is a 25, and I pre-rolled, and this was pretty bad. It was 21 plus 6, so
27 damage?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you climb into its mouth and you see this pulsing mass, and you just cut it open with your sword. And as it does so, this hot liquid just pours out like a frigging massive, like you've cut some kind of bladder. It pours out and it spills you out onto the ground past it, as the thing seems to be leaking this brownish orange fluid everywhere, and it just kind of deflates.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you have killed this worm, and
this worm.
Ugh.
You are now
get that slime
you're now
off
left waiting in the chamber. Yeah, everybody is buried in it. Calamity gets covered in it as it drops her down.
Zagrin is just
you're able
a
to...
wave is just riding it out. Just...
I'm gonna rush over to Zagrin and kind of look him over. Does he look pretty
he looks
bad?
Badly burned. He
Oh.
looks badly burned. Zagrin, you've got burns covering a significant portion of your body, like this, and cuts and all sorts of things. This was a really bad experience.
Zagrin coughs up and some magma bile goo comes out. Just
Yeah, thank you.
You got some burns from that fluid too. It wasn't a nice experience.
Can just set out with a fight like that? Come on.
I wanted to get an inside perspective on how this thing was thinking, and I didn't detect much thought at all.
I'll I'll just offer him my hand to help him stand up.
Thank you. Is everyone else okay?
Calamity?
No, I'm not great. As she's like pulling at these little shards that are left embedded in her from the tentacle.
Well, that thing was pretty nasty. Should we get out of here? What's that over there? Figment.
You should see this. Is everyone all right?
So.
Do we need to rest here?
Is this a good place to rest?
I don't see why not. We clearly got rid of the threat, but we should definitely take a look at this. I've never seen anything quite like it. And he's kind of like distracted and just kind of goes over, forgets what he said about taking a rest, and just like is kind of led like smelling a good smell, like a cartoon person floating.
So you go to the top of the cliff and look down?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Like
an
he's
interesting
compelled.
scene. It's an interesting scene as you go down there, or as you go over to the cliff. So you can see inside. So there's like a big open field where it goes from the stone, the kind of raw stone of the cavern, to very smooth stone, as if someone has polished a section of flooring. There are also, you can see engraved in the stone in places are metal, like somebody has engraved and filled with metal a number of arcane sigils on the floor. They lead into this large building with a stairway that leads up to a very big door. There are those two towers with the floating crystals above, each one, just wrapped in lightning. You also see along the edge of the southeast portion of the cavern, you can see a number of charred bodies of some of those creatures you saw above.
Yeah, so it looks like this place is being protected by this.
Yeah, and then there
lightning
are two large iron guardians standing on either side of the doorway of that staircase.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Each of them carrying a large sword and shield.
Guardians. Got it. Yes.
Do they seem active? Like, are they moving, or are they more statuesque?
They are standing still as statues. That said, Zagrin, they look exactly like the ones you saw in that guard tower up above, and in the Fell Armory.
I'll nudge Figment. We've seen those types before. They animate.
Yes, indeed. Ancient guardians from Aor.
Yeah, you probably caught them before, Figment, when you were here last time.
Yes, yeah. I have some drawings
Thousands
of them
of
if you
years
want to
ago.
see. Yeah, exactly. So, what do we do? What's at the top of the stairs there?
You
than the
can't
crystals,
see. Yeah, so you can't see what's in the top of the stairs from your angle, but it looks like it leads somewhere. Clearly, it's inside some kind of building.
I think that is our next destination. If anything, it looks like a control center for something.
Yes, it does seem like something is obviously being guarded within there, and what better to guard than a beacon? However, before we explore, I am curious what might be round the way. I think it's worth at least peeking and seeing what might be behind the corner. Don't want anything sneaking up behind us.
You do look a little worse for wear.
I'll be fine. Though the burns on my skin are nothing towards the blinding light that I feel inside.
Yeah, this is
okay.
definitely the right way, Zagrin. Like, you're sure that's the way.
Never mind. I don't care what might be sneaking up behind us. Forward when we march.
Well, then, please, Lord Zagran, we should really rest here.
I suppose, but a short one. I don't know that we have much time to spare.
Yes, a short one. Yeah, can we take a short rest in this room? Maybe
Which
check
one?
out that the one that we just fought, the Hellion. This
Okay.
like giant worm. I'm sure there's a dry spot somewhere.
Yeah, so the ground is really porous and full of holes, so the stuff leaks away. It's not a comfortable place, and there's that smoke. There's that smoke, so it's not a great place to be as far as your lungs go. As far as your lungs go.
Maybe the air is better over there in the little alcove.
Before we move on, could I just take a peek on my own over here in the east hallway?
Yeah, absolutely. So you head over there, and as you look, this is actually kind of interesting. There's a circle of menhirs. There's a circle of menhirs, and inside large standing stones, large freestanding stones, and in the center you see that same figure that you saw in the crystal room, the crystal forest up above. And here, that figure is hunched over, and below it is one of those small blind hissing creatures that you saw. And as you look at it, it's holding its staff above the creature, and there is light flickering, beams of energy flickering from the menhirs. You see runes begin to light on them as it begins chanting something in this deep guttural language. And as you watch, that figure begins transforming and metamorphosizing, whatever. Metamorphosizing. We're sticking with it. Go wrong, stay wrong, folks. Metamorphosizing into one of those flying creatures. It raises up and alights into the air. As you're watching, after that, a number of those grub-like things begin crawling into the center as that creature begins doing something else, begins readying to do something else.
Yikes. Do these standing stones look like the ones that we saw previously by the
Similar,
street?
yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to back out slowly because that was
You don't wanna keep watching?
weird. I mean, I'm staying hidden. If it seems like there's something interesting happening, I'll probably just like stay crouched. Like, I don't want to be seen. But
Roll me a
if
stealth check.
something's thought you'd never ask. Wow, that's not even that good. I mean, but I can't roll lower than a 10, so that's 23.
All right. Okay, yeah. So if you stick around for a minute and watch those, it pulls together a number of those soft, pale grub-like creatures begin crawling into the middle, and it starts another chant. And as it does so, it calls down that bug from before, right? One of like 6 arms on it reaches out towards that thing, and it flies down overhead, and the grubs begin merging together and forming another creature. And before long, there is this huge, has to be at least 10-foot tall creature with six big heavy legs, covered in large armor plates, armored plates with these 2 big frigging mandibles out the front. this creature moves out of the way as more of the grub-like bugs begin moving into the circle.
Does it look like a 10-foot tall bug, or what are the legs like? Is it meaty?
So the legs, so it's got 4 heavy, meaty legs covered in armor, and then 2 front appendages that end in not quite hands, but not claws. Right? It's a front and some sort of back thumb for grabbing. They definitely look like grabbers of some kind. Kind of like mittens. Yeah, kind of like mittens.
Is it kind of giving like praying mantis vibes, or
if like a praying mantis and a rhinoceros had a baby?
That's the most disgusting thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if a praying mantis and a rhinoceros had a baby, right? There's a big rhinoceros element to this thing.
That is so weird. Okay, well, I'm sufficiently disturbed. If it seems like... Does it seem like more stuff is happening? Does it seem like I should peace out?
It looks like there's a lot of creatures in there and more. It looks like this thing is creating more of these creatures.
Okay, and we're just about to bed down in the next room. I'm gonna just creep backwards a little bit, fade into the shadows, and come back over to my friends.
And there were 3 of those buzzing creatures floating around the outside.
The mud daubers.
There we go, the mud daubers. The blizzard daubers.
Okay, so they were. Did they?
They
see
looked
me?
like they were watching. They did not see you.
They
but
weren't
it looked
watching
like they
me.
were watching.
They were watching that happen.
No, it looked like they were watching out.
Oh, they're keeping guard, but I snuck by them. Okay. Okay. If everyone's starting to like bed down, I don't know if this is the right place to take a little nap. Over there's some really weird stuff happening. Like bugs being made into weird larger creatures. There's also like stuff keeping watch, and so it's a little close for comfort, in my opinion.
Normally I'd say go investigate, but you did a good job. I think we should get out of here quickly.
Yes. Let's push forward.
Let's just be careful, because I know that you're quite hurt, Sagrin.
Zagrin will pull out a healing potion and drink it and just, I'm fine. I'm fine, I say. And still clearly burned and bruised, and that helped a little bit, but he's still looking rough. But no time for that. Press onward.
All right.
If you insist. Yeah, I'm going to hobble along. I'm also going to use Arcane Recovery and get a spell slot back. Bim salabim.
All right, so you have this about 30-foot drop down into this area in front of whatever it is, the entrance. Okay, so you have this 30-foot drop down. It looks like, Figment. You get the sense that these are some kind of magical wards carved into the ground. Carved into the ground around this entryway. In fact, they're at fairly regular intervals around the entryway.
Do I recognize any of the glyphs?
Roll me an Arcana check.
$26.
You don't recognize them directly, but you can tell that they are associated with protection and warding, and there are a number that look like they are there to amplify electrical impulses.
I see. Judging by the charred bodies, I'd say that this place is warded, electrically warded.
How do you suggest we traverse it?
Yeah, I'm not sure we can. Not without touching the ground, if there isn't any other way.
Well, if we need to not touch the ground, I might be able to arrange that. But in my current state, I'm not sure I want to expend the power if it's not going to work. And Zagran looks over and looks at both Kit and Calamity. Would one of your companions be willing to fly by and test it out?
You see Calamity grab Yetha and be like, no.
I'll look at Murdo. I'm not quite sure still if this is my dad, so I don't really feel comfortable doing that.
The madness has struck in all of you at this point.
Take an inspiration for that. That was amazing.
I don't want to send my dad through there, you know? Sorry, Zagran.
All right, fine. Perhaps I'll do it myself. I am going to cast Polymorph on myself and turn into a giant eagle.
Okay.
So Zagran whips Lirimnor on the ground and begins to extend his arm, and feathers begin to sprout, and he sort of hunches over and is growing in size as he does. And just this eagle is now standing there and kind of jerks its head around in a very bird-like fashion. And I want to, as a giant eagle, just fly sort of towards the right where I start to see those wards, or right over the cliff's edge, but just am flying and just sort of dipping my toe into the room, so to speak.
Yeah, so you fly down in, and you can see the lightning pulsing around the crystals as you fly into the room, and nothing happens. Nothing happens as you fly across the room. You can see. Give me just one sec. Yeah, you can see this this super dark hallway off to your left, right? But it's too dark for you to properly see. The light from this chamber doesn't extend very far. That said, over on that eastern entryway into this area, into this killing field, there are a lot of burned up, blizzard bodies. We're calling them blizzard. Burned up blizzard bodies. There's a lot of them, right? Looks like they come through here on the regular and get burned on the regular. Can't hear you, Josh.
If I fly over towards the stairs, does anything happen?
Nothing seems to react to you.
All right, Zagran flies back over to the group and is kind of just hovering there, and I can't talk, but maybe with a flap of the wing, just tapping on my back.
He wants us to climb on. Is that safe?
I think so. You go. I can get across.
Oh, I see. That's how it is. All right. Can Calamity and I both get on? It's a giant eagle.
Be pushing it.
Okay.
I'm large, and if two people can ride a horse, then I'm the same category as a horse.
Very small people.
Calamity's tiny, and I'm pretty small.
Pretty small.
It's perfectly safe.
I'll allow it. Right? That said, Zagran, there's going to be some consequences if you do fall over, right?
Do you...
Okay.
Do you?
I think you just do it. I love this.
Do you come over like close enough to where I can like toss Calamity up and then, or do you land?
Yeah, after I like flap there and like tap my back, I'll then land and just kind of like arms extended back facing up.
I'll look at Calamity. All right, you first.
All right. Okay, where do you want to go?
I want to fly up these stairs. That's where
so
the direction of the pool is, right?
So, sorry, you can see the stairs. At the top of the stairs, and I should have mentioned this before. At the top of the stairs, there's a giant stone door, a giant two wide stone door, again covered in runes and writing.
It's closed.
It is closed. Yes, absolutely closed.
Zagran just flies up to the door and kind of like leans forward as like do something.
Should I do this? Let's see.
Kit, with a bit more dark vision, you can see again back to the east a bunch of dead bugs, and then there's a pool of bugs, blizzards, and then there's a pool of water just past that.
That's like over here.
To the east, yeah.
Okay.
Away from so this room, the east side is cave and that entrance. The north side, cave and that entrance. The west and south is that tomb or that structure.
Okay.
So as you get down from Zagran and you're on the stairs, nothing has reacted to you yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I was gonna get down or not.
Okay. Then you can stay. Sorry, you can stay on. That's fine.
I'm being very cautious, but there's no bodies over here by the door, right?
Correct.
So it's perfectly safe. So you flew all the way up to the door. Like, I'm gonna try to like examine it first to see if there's any obvious like traps or places like handles or locks or anything like that.
Yeah, so there's absolutely no handles or locks or anything, right? Like there is this large metal seal carved into the stone door. That's clearly an arcane symbol of some variety, but you can see absolutely no way to open this.
Figment, do you know what this means? I have a way of opening doors, but I don't know if I should go for it or let you try something first.
Do you suspect it's a trap of some kind?
I'm not sure. I have a spell for it.
Right. Well, I suppose getting there is the key.
Ah!
Oh yes. You can go. Figment actually puts his he's got like a little toga on. He wraps it over his head. By the time he wraps it over his head, he becomes like translucent and ghost-like again, and then just starts floating over.
Yeah, so you begin floating down in your gaseous form, and as you get to about 30 feet away, where that ring of wards begin, you cannot pass any further in your gaseous form.
What's wrong, Figment?
He all right, I guess he could okay, the ward on the smooth floor he can't pass?
Correct.
Yeah, so he ends it. And I guess he tries to climb on Zagran's back?
All right, so you're going to have Zagran transport you over, that's the thinking?
I guess so, if he could take all three people.
Well, he'll have to put us
I think
down.
I think I'd have to drop you guys to do that.
Oh, like
Okay.
one at a time? Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll get off. Fine.
All right, so we're gonna
there,
haul
some sort of magic something. I tell everybody there's a magic barrier there.
All right, so we're gonna haul Figment over, basically. So Eagle, Zagrin, Zeagle. No, that was bad. I apologize. I'm gonna do it again. Now, Zeagle carries over your crew, and you're standing there. Figment, a couple things you notice. This place is absolutely reeking in wards. Roll me an Arcana check.
Something I do very well. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
One more thing. This looks familiar to you. Roll me a history check as well. Eventually. You're going to have to unmute.
27.
Ooh,
27.
That's good.
History and Arcana. That's what I do, man.
One, from the Arcana check, this thing, this hallway, this door, is about the most heavily warded place you've ever seen, right? And the tower, the tower of, the keepers of the coverless tome, is a pretty well warded spot, right? Like, it is made to survive magical assaults from all sorts of horrible extra dimensional things. This place is more horribly and heavily warded. Like, you think there's
like triple that.
There's a lot of very quick, violent death on offer right in this spot.
Okay, yeah.
In addition
The
to
closer.
that, in addition to that, you're thinking about things look familiar here, and based on what you see in the warding, based on what you see in the architecture and where you are, you think you might be at the tomb of one of the fallen, right? So it was said that one of the fallen was entombed in the lost city of Aor, right? And you suspect this may well be that tomb.
Okay, extremely, extremely well protected.
And for a little bit of reference, the fallen are, for those that don't have that context, because I realize that this is all made up. The fallen were a group of sorcerer kings that served this wizard that ran this very brutal empire during the Age of Arcana, right? So they were said to be, they were these sorcerer kings that had been beaten and taken or fallen after their encounters with a figure known now only as Gal Arak. This would be the tomb of someone referred to as Catcher.
Can I
The tomb. Someone known as Catcher. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I investigate a little bit to see, like you said, the bodies are to the east. That's like directly in line with this door and the steps, or like does it look like they've been thrown over there, or like blasted over there, or like
You want to go over and take a look at them?
I'm just trying to like look between like where I am on the steps and where they are over there. Like, does it seem like there's a clear path or line?
It seems like there's certainly a clear line. Roll me an investigation. I'll take that real quick.
Okie dokie. Okay, that's a natural 20 for
Okay, I'm just, you
31?
don't even bother putting
Okay.
the rest of this together. Jesus. Okay, so here's the deal. You seeing how they are charred and seeing those lightning towers, right? Those towers with the lightning crystals at the top. It looks, and the scorch marks on the ground. It looks like clearly line of sight from those towers to where the burned bodies are.
And where are the towers exactly?
So the towers are right by the entrance to this stairway. So they are right by the stairway, and then those iron Iron Guardians are just ahead of them.
So it looks like they were scorched while they were walking up this east hallway.
Yeah, it looks like they were scorched in that east hallway.
Okay, like as they were approaching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it looks like these towers do a fair bit of damage, but we're already on the stairs. What do y'all think? Should I try to open the door, or are we going in there?
No! Don't touch anything!
Okay. Well, what are we doing here then? Is this where we're supposed to go, Zagrin?
If this is where we're supposed to go...
Murdo caws indignantly.
Yeah, I don't think eagles caw. This one does. Who knows?
They scream, eagle. I don't know. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, Figment's kind of like, going up and checking it out and looking at his book and going through it. He's like, this is folly. This is folly. We should not be here. No, this
But we are here.
can't be.
So, are you suggesting we leave? I don't think this one's going to agree to that.
As you're looking,
Figment,
actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
with Figment still on his back, like flies like a little bit closer to the door, like very much like it flies up a little bit, so it's harder for him to just like get down, but it's kind of just holding him hostage.
As you look over
Take
at
me
the cliff
back.
where you came from, you see some of those flying creatures are over there now and are looking down into the chamber. Well, looking maybe is a stretch. They don't have eyes, but they're oriented towards you.
All right. I get the picture. This is a game. Are you playing a game? Figment mutters to himself. He gets off the eagle. He goes over to the door and he's basically just like looking at it. Yes, it's ward. Another ward. I cast detect magic. I go blind.
There's a lot of magic here. A lot of magic here, right? This is this is every square inch, right?
It hurts. Okay,
You're pretty sure forcing entry in here would be a terrible idea.
We have a better chance with those monsters up there than dealing with this tome.
And what do you suggest? Is there any other way we can leave this chamber?
Figment looks at
What's over here?
Broken staff.
Really, one other interesting thing that you get actually looking at this is that these wards and this entrance exist across, like, this point is grounded not just in the material plane, but in the near realms, right? Like this place would be the same in a number of different planes.
Are you going to remain an eagle all day?
Oh, maybe he should a bit longer if we need to get out of here some other way.
I could
see what-
try.
See what's over here? Can I see over there?
Over here being where?
To the south, like
Yeah,
that area.
absolutely. So this is all very smooth stone to the south. It looks like there's just there are like some benches down here, weirdly, like some spots where you could sit.
Some reflect. Reflecting
yeah, phone
pool.
booth, right? Yeah.
Okay. All right, Wizard Man, what are we doing now?
Well, that's it. Like, he's extremely torn. He wants to go in. He knows it's extremely dangerous. It's probably going to be the death of all of these people that he knows. He just got out of the ethereal realm. He doesn't want to go back. Okay. I could try something, but I don't know if... There really is no other way. What is it?
I have a spell that'll likely open the door, but I don't know what happened when I do open the door, or what's on the other side.
Yes, there might be a significant amount of... Does it look like something I can dispel first before she tries to knock? No, she's just gonna try knocking.
There's no way you could dispel what's happening here, right? Based on your Arcana check from earlier, right? Like you're pretty sure any attempt to overwhelm this would be met with something. There'd be a reaction.
I mean, so would a knock spell, right?
It would cause a reaction for sure.
Okay. This is very dangerous. What we're about to do.
Well, the only one who really wants to go in there is an eagle right now, so I say he doesn't get a vote.
He's also our ride.
That's fair, but I'm not about to go in there if it's gonna immediately zap us or something.
Exactly.
As you're pondering this, you hear down that corridor to the east. This sound begins. The sound begins, and at first it's very dim and you can't hear it, but it gets louder and louder, and you look over down the east passage and you see, coming out of the darkness, a mid-game break appears. Appears. So, folks, we're gonna take 10 minutes here and have a quick break, and then we'll rejoin as our heroes have some time to ponder how they're gonna get through this door. All right, see you in a few. Bye, folks.
Ciao.
So this is
go. Back live and ready to go. Folks, hello. Welcome back to the second half of Heroes Die Show, episode 56. Did I already forget this? 56, yes. Episode 56, wherein our heroes are at the magically warded door to the tomb of Catcher, one of the fallen, and also very clearly on their way to find the beacon. Our heroes find themselves now far under the city of Aor, the lost city of Aor. Now, as they approach this tomb, they find that these creatures, we're calling them blizzards, that's our working title, these lizard alien bug things, are starting to gather on a cliff up above and watch them. A number more have clearly been roasted by lightning bolts as they approach from this eastern tunnel, and they're sitting there trying to figure out how do they get in. But if you're enjoying this nonsense, I hope that you take some time to watch us many Saturdays from 8:30 to 11:30 Central Time here on twitch.tv/Heroes Die Show, or on YouTube /@Heroes Die Show, or somewhere else on the internet, whatever. Maybe you're finding us on Napster. You're downloading the episodes illegally on Napster. That could be a thing still. Well, I don't see why it's not.
As content creators, we fully endorse illegally downloading this show because that's impressive.
Yeah,
so I appreciate
pirate
it.
some shit, guys. Like, don't be afraid of that. But that said, if you are on one of those social media platforms, press the buttons. Do what you're supposed to do. Give us the fun reactions. Give us that dopamine hit from hearing people say, "Hey, yeah, that's not too bad. That's kind of an okay show." That's what we're looking for, folks. Best D&D show on the internet needs a couple little likes every now and again. Yeah, I said it. Let's see what else.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah, no shame in that. Whatever else. I don't know. Check out Tabletop Audio. It's cool. Join us on Discord. It's pretty fun. We're cool people. We're pretty. We're pretty good. We're decent. They're not bad. Not bad. Anyway, come back most Saturdays for some awesome Heroes Die Show. And with that, we're going to jump right back in and figure out what are our players going to do about this fun, magical door. So you're presented, like we said earlier, right? You are presented with this sealed tomb that has been warded, 3/4 of the way to hell. 3/4 of the way to hell and back. And it is clearly meant to be accessed in some way. But what that way is, Figment, escapes you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start reading every glyph that I see. I'm scouring the tome for any sort of writing, any little divot in the wall that a gem needs to be placed, or how many rubies to collect to do something.
Okay.
I'm problem solving here.
You know from Eric, roll me a history check. That's all I'll take. Roll me another history check.
He should get advantage on history checks because he's like 1,000 years old.
But I wasn't present, so 18.
18. You do know that this tomb, the one in the lost city of Aor, there was an order of wizards who were responsible for maintaining the tomb and maintaining the wards. So they must have had some way to get in and out. But that's all you've got.
So while Figment is doing all that, Kit will just kind of like step aside slightly. Like, I don't think that there's much space on here, but she'll just kind of, I don't know, not like kneel down or anything, but like maybe close her eyes and say, Chalea, I don't know if you're still with me. It's been a while since I heard from you, but and I'll just cast what is it called?
Augury?
Divination?
Yeah, I'll cast Augury and say, if we open this door, is that a bad idea?
The question, so you get the sense of Chalea, so you find yourself momentarily as you close your eyes standing alone on a surface that almost seems like water, but has tension, but is black and has like a reflective surface. And you can see Chalea, and as you ask the question, she looks at you and she goes, I need more.
If I try to open this door, is it gonna kill us all?
She closes her eyes and she opens them, and you just hear her say, whoa.
I think that's bad. Alright. Thank you, Julia. I will turn to Figment and say, you know, I think you might be right. This seems like a death sentence.
Yes. I think so too. It would be folly. It is amazing and wonderful that we came here, that we saw it. There it is. Okay. I think it's time to find another way out.
As you're looking at the door and you're talking about this, there is a crack of lightning from one of the towers as it shoots out into that hallway to the east and blasts one of those little blizzards that somehow got too close. You can see as the lightning hits that there are a few others scurrying away back into the darkness.
No, effective, isn't it?
Does that mean it shouldn't go that way? Maybe.
No. Now, what is it? Is it because... he's trying to figure out, is it because they're walking? Is it because they're hot-blooded? He's like, is it a proximity thing that it zaps them? Because there's always a way you can get down there. But really, I mean, what's going down there? Is that really another way in? Do you think it's another way in? It doesn't look like another way in, does it? It just leads out into where those blizzards are. Correct, Jason?
I can't tell you where it goes without you exploring.
So this
but
hallway
it leads
going...
back. It leads back in a way. Leads somewhere into this cave complex.
Did you?
Okay, but not into the tome.
Did you share with us, or yeah, did you let us know, Figment, that there's probably another way in?
No. Another way in? No. All I said was there was a way for maintenance wizards to access inside. There was some sort of means, I don't know, a symbol, a key of some kind. Something that would... They must have gotten in and out somehow.
What about those tunnels that we saw?
Tunnels, yes. Which ones?
The ones that we
Zagan,
saw?
roll me an insight check.
All right, let's see.
Eagle insight.
Exactly. I had to look up what my insight is as an eagle.
Oh, right, because you're an eagle.
Yeah, so I have an 11.
Okay, yeah, as an eagle, you can't figure it out.
Eagles don't know a whole lot about magic runes.
It's hard. Like, you're having trouble remembering
The
yourself.
sad part is, though, that my wisdom actually doesn't change. It's a 14 either way, so I'm as wise as this eagle is.
Nice.
Eagle's wisdom.
I guess the most important question now is how do we get out of here without getting fried? If we're not going in this door.
I mean, we have an eagle.
All right, where should we go though? Down that hall seems like a bad idea, and over there's some lizards.
We're
looks
not
like,
getting in here, that's for sure.
As
Right?
you're-
Like we're not getting in the front door.
As you're watching, there's another crack of lightning, and you see one of those flyers down that east hallway get blasted.
That's
And
what we
fall
needed to
down to the
know.
ground.
Can I just start looking around, like around this platform, like I don't know, for anything interesting, like when he was talking about like another way to get in, maybe.
Yeah, as you've been looking around the outside of the tomb, so you've got these fairly heavy duty stairs. You've got these really solid walls and this roof over the entrance to the tomb, about 12 feet tall at the for the furthest point, and probably 8 feet tall near the top. You can see on the outside of the tomb and on those walls where you have actually those benches, there's a lot of carvings, right? Look like hieroglyphic style carvings, that writing that you saw Essie taking so many etchings of, that writing of the Telkuri. And there's a lot there. There's a lot of scenes depicted, right? You see, now that you're seeing it, what looks like a story set into scenes on these walls. You have you have this figure, this imposing figure, and around them you have these 10 smaller figures. You have scenes of battles, right? You have scenes of battles, and you have scenes of this best described as a cloud just around folks, and they look like they're in poses of pain, right? Then on the far side you see these monuments and these buildings torn down or being toppled, like in the act of being toppled, and that figure again now, clearly the same thing, and clearly very large, but bowed and chained. Those 10 figures around it, bound and chained as well.
I will call Figment's attention to this. Basically looks like a story. I think. I don't really know how to read these, though. That was Essie's specialty.
Yes, it tells the story of the fallen. Sorcerer kings, you see. They were scorned by gods and then punished. Practically gods themselves. This is one of their tombs, you see.
Well,
Catcher, as you're looking at this figment, you're reminded that Catcher had a number of names, one of which was the Taker of Souls.
Yes, he was a taker of souls, right. How could that have slipped my mind?
that sounds bad.
Yes,
Don't like the sound of that.
It's quite bad. It gives me an idea, but I don't know if we should do it.
What is it?
No, nothing. Yes, let's keep looking. Yes. And he kind of shuffles off and starts padding around and looking around.
I'm gonna look at these mech suits or whatever these guys are. These tall sentinels.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're heavy duty sentinels, right? Standing there, like as you saw them standing in that guard tower, or as you saw down in the basement of the Fell Armory, right? They are entirely unmoving.
Does it look like it's a suit? Like it's like
No.
a person could get in there? It's like a robot thing, kind of.
It is some kind of metal automaton, a metal creature, animated entirely by magic.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm out of ideas, Figment. This is dangerous.
Very dangerous. I don't have the ability to get past any of these wards. Too heavily fortified. Magic way too old. I'm stumped.
As you're looking at the outer edges, just because you have some time to look around, that place where those creatures keep coming, the wards look slightly degraded.
There's some wearing over here, which means.
How far are y'all walking from the stairs?
Zagran has grown a little impatient, so I think he's just doing like laps, flying circles kind of around this open area. Just like staying away from the wards, but just in the area he's always been, he's just doing like laps, flying in the air.
Okay.
I'm like at the bench right now, the little bench thing, and I'm just gonna sit on the bench and I just kind of like put my head in my hands, like, you know, bending over, and I will try to talk to Chalea again. I'll just... Chalea, this is a tough one. I don't know if you could help me again, but how do we get in here? I will cast... wait a second. Divination, what does that do? I can ask a question. I can ask a question. Okay. Yeah.
So Kit, you begin to sit and try and connect with Chalea, right? Roll me an insight check as you do. No, a wisdom saving throw, actually.
I forgot how wise I am. That's a 13.
Okay, great. So as you're sitting on the bench, Figment, you hear something from Calamity, and you look over, and Kidda's like fallen back on the bench, and she's twitching, and Calamity's trying to like keep her from whacking her head against the stone as she's kind of twitching back. Kit, while this is occurring, you fall into yourself, and you fall back into that place where you saw Chalea before. But as you're standing there, and you go to reach out to Chalea, instead you don't see her, and looking down into that surface, that reflective surface below you, you see yourself, but you are not yourself. In the reflection, you see Chalea, and you can feel that heat in your eye, and that pain, right? And you have just an absolute splitting headache. What question are you going to ask as you look into this reflection? Better music for this.
How do we get in? There's got to be a better way.
How do we get in, is what you're asking in particular.
Mm-hmm.
You see in the reflection, as it first, there's this strange shape, like in the dark. Looks like there's not a diamond, but like a 6. No, is it 6? Hold on, just one quick sec. Eight-sided pyramid, but it's relatively small, and you can see standing beside it in this dark cave. You see Hagrin with his hand on this thing. You see Zagrin with his hand on this thing. In the darkness around him, you see those strange figures, those mutated and alien forms of the blizzards lurking in the darkness around you. That cavern where this stone or glass shape has those tendrils and that slime and those strange structures created by those creatures.
What is that? Is that what he seeks?
As your vision clears up, you return to yourself. But you return to yourself, Kit, with clear memories of rescuing those giants that y'all met at Chalea's property. You remember rescuing them for the first time and bringing them to live with you. These aren't strangers to you. These are people that you know, and in fact, you know the language that they spoke, the language of the hill folk.
All right. Okay.
Those memories are yours.
I'm having a identity crisis here. So
Also, you have disadvantage on perception checks or all your wisdom-based checks for the rest of today.
is my eye like...
It hurts. Yes, it hurts real bad.
Okay.
She's coming too. Are you all right, child?
There's a non-zero chance you peed your pants.
I swear ignoring that.
I saw something. I saw Zagrin. So you said...
Take inspiration, Josh. God damn it, that was amazing. For anyone listening later, Josh did like the eagle head cock thing
eagle form.
really perfectly. It's amazing.
So what I saw was like, could you just clarify? It was like the what is it? A dodec? Not a dodecahedron. It was a
not quite a pentagon shape, an 8-sided obelisk kind of thing.
Okay.
An 8-sided obelisk thing. It was rising out of the ground, and Zagrin was over at it, touching it. It looked like it was hard to see because it was dark. It was dark in the vision that you saw. But in this cave, Zagrin had his hand on this thing and his eyes closed.
And the cave was...
one of these caves that you've been in so far.
Like it looked familiar, like we've already been there.
Well, you haven't seen that since you've been in here, but there's a lot of this cave system that you haven't explored.
I see. So it's safe to say it seems like the thing that he seeks is somewhere in this cave system, but maybe not through that door.
The question you asked was, how do you get in?
Yeah. Okay. So I will relay that to... I guess Zagrin can hear me too in his eagle form. He may not... I don't know how that works. Like, does he fully comprehend what I'm saying?
The eagle in particular understands common and one other language, but can't speak it. But he does understand common.
Okay.
Right. Figment looks over at the eagle. Are you the key?
I don't exactly know what it means, but it seems like we need to find whatever he's looking for. That's got to be the beacon, right? I don't know for sure. I've never seen it, but
I've heard it described as a complex geode shape. Could be.
Zagrin nods.
Zagrin, have you seen these beacons before? They are relatively small glass objects, glass-like objects. They have a handle kind of thing around them, and they burn bright with light. Like they're extremely bright.
so that's not the beacon then.
Well, he can't tell you any of that.
Oh, okay.
He's an eagle, so. Murdo looks at him and caws. Clearly not psyched about this giant eagle.
I'm gonna investigate where the runes were worn down. You said.
Mm-hmm.
What slid across there? Did a bench move? Is there wear marks on something?
It looks like they are burning, right? So it was clearly made with precious metal worked into the floor in order to make it last a really long time, right? Wards decay with usage. You don't see permanent wards, right? Like that's not like a very common thing because your magical wards fade as soon as they've been used. But they built these wards to be permanent, to last. But it looks like with time and with usage, they are starting to burn out a little bit. So less anything moving over to it, but instead the wards themselves are beginning to decay. as if the constant probing from these creatures is beginning to wear down. And in fact, as you're waiting, right as you're hanging out there, 2 more times the lightning blasts out into that dark and fries some of the blizzards. Those of you that have dark vision, you can see further down that tunnel. There aren't a ton, but there are a number of blizzards there. By the way, that area up above where you were, there are now a fairly large number of those creatures up there, and different ones, like many different types of them.
There's not another egress from this room?
Well, there's the tomb. Just try a knock spell. I think that's probably a good idea.
Zagran's gonna fly up, like not where they were, but kind of up towards in that direction. And specifically, I'm trying to gauge the reaction as I'm flying closer of those flying things. As
you fly towards them?
Yeah, I want to get...
so you're flying out past into the darkness a little bit, into that eastern tunnel.
Like right up to where the tunnel mouth is, I guess, if that makes sense. Not into the darkness,
they can't get into the tunnel mouth. They're much further back, right? Like they're in the tunnel closer to the pond.
Got
Those that are there.
Okay.
It looks like they don't like coming, or something like regular lightning shocks keeps them from coming too close.
Yeah, I'll kind of like hover at the mouth and just kind of like looking at them, and then I'll fly back.
So these lightning strikes are coming from the crystals?
Mm-hmm. Those lightning crystals, yep.
Okay, and they're about how big, these crystals?
Crystals are anywhere from 2 to 3 feet high, maybe 1.5 feet wide.
And how far away? How far away are they from us right now? If we're on the steps, if we're on, like,
they're basically at the steps.
Oh, okay. I'm actually just gonna extend my hand and telekinetically grab one of them and just move it off to the side.
Nope.
They don't move. Okay, no, nothing there. Okay.
What's good thinking though? Can you, I don't know, blast it or something?
I'm almost too afraid to try.
Almost means you're not, though.
No, I guess you're right. Yeah. Okay, I'll try something. Yeah, the repercussions could be too great. There's a lot of intense magic going on around here. Magic missiles at the crystals does not sound like a good idea. Good band name, though. Magic missiles to the crystals.
Yeah, that's pretty metal. Well, Ava just threw like a rock at it or something.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Oh, sorry. I'm not there.
You're not muted.
I don't know what to do here. Magic's not really my forte. I just
can't imagine anything. Yeah, I think it's just anything I do seems like it might be. I might have repercussions. See?
Just to reiterate the vision, it looked like you were somewhere in a cave system very similar to the one that you're currently in, and Zagran was touching this obelisk.
We haven't seen an obelisk, though, right?
No, but you haven't explored very much of the cave system.
Right. I feel like we should just get out of here. This is not the room that I saw in my vision, and I had to, like, I don't know, lose part of my eyesight to get that vision, so I think it probably is valuable information.
It's pretty important, yes, I see. The only question now is, do we take Lightning Hallway or take our chances with those individuals up there? Like,
Zagran flies up and starts to move in the direction of where they came from, where those creatures are, and then flies back.
Yeah, they definitely seem interested. Like one of the flying ones perks up, and it creeps a little bit forward as you go. Like it goes forward of the cliff's edge, and as it does so, wha-bam! Lightning shoots out and blasts that fucking thing, and sends it flying back into the others.
Zagran flies specifically over towards Figment and does like some sort of gesture. Like,
what is
Is
it?
Timmy stuck in the well?
What are you
and
thinking?
he'll like get down sort of like he did before as the get on my back signal.
I think it was. All right. Are you coming?
As soon as Figment like hops on without giving anyone else a chance, Zagran's gonna fly and hover
Oh,
just like there and just kind of flies in place. But how far away are the creatures now from where we are?
So there are creatures up on top of the ridge. And if you look down in the east, so you can't see very well because it's really dark. But you get the sense that there's some movement over by the surface of the lake, or by the edge of the lake there, the pond.
To the northern side, though, are there creatures around here?
At the very edge of that cliff. When they went over the edge of that cliff, that flying thing got blasted.
Yeah, so Zagran will sit on the edge of the cliff in decent range of the creatures and hold Figment hostage until he does something.
Don't we have like a truce with them right now? Or not? Am I imagining something that happened that didn't happen? Didn't we talk to that guy who told us,
he said his children will watch.
yeah, they like to watch.
They like to watch.
That's right.
They'll watch
All right.
what?
In which case, I will fly a little bit closer to the creatures and see if they react.
No, get. What are you doing?
Yeah, they're clearly interested in you, Zagran. They're clearly interested in you, but something is holding them back. Probably the concern about what happens when they cross that threshold.
I don't know what you're thinking, but
One of
You
them,
wanna
actually,
go
as you stay a little bit closer, there's this one of those flying creatures. It lets out this puff of something, right? And it gets in urine and Figment's face. Let's go from each of you. Let's give me, I believe it's a con
no,
save.
why?
Yeah, from each of you, I'd like a con save, please.
Ten.
4.
Okay. You both are actually like, as these spores like get up in your lungs and in your eyes, you both take 11 poison damage. And yeah.
What are you doing?
Zagran will fly back. Zagran will fly back with Figment towards the rest of the group.
Do you have to make a concentration check?
Oh, good call. I sure do.
As you're about 40 feet in the air.
And that is a 9. Break on concentration.
Great. So as you're hanging up there, you and Figment, Zagran begins to turn back into an eagle, and you're each going to begin falling to the ground. About 40 feet
I
down.
guess feather fall. I'm feather falling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first spell slot. Gone.
As they-
Thanks.
Tumbling down, just telekinesis them through the ward, moron.
To what end? Yeah, sure. I can get a couple, but couldn't you be an eagle that talked?
If only. So much.
One thing you've noticed is now you've walked to and from past those circles on the ground, and you still haven't been blasted with lightning.
We're like falling slowly to the ground.
Yeah.
What, like this? What?
And then, I telekinesis one of them forward into the ward.
It gets blasted by lightning.
There, what? They're making more.
Right, but clearing the path so we could land is probably in our best interest, but unfortunately I won't be able to pull that little trick again anytime today.
That's all right. I think there must be another way.
Agreed, but it seems that we have two options. We either head back the direction we came, where those creatures are awaiting us, or head towards the ward, in which case we'd be very likely blasted. It seems to me that one of our only options would be to somehow generate as many creatures as we could and just send them for millennia towards the wards until they eventually die. Unfortunately, I don't know that we have the luxury of that time, which only leaves the direction that we originally came from.
Based on the wearing.
So again, the ward is like a semicircle pattern in front of this tomb, right? So you would have crossed it in either direction.
Oh, so
We're still not blasted.
The ward is not down that hallway. It's just in this area right in front of the steps.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, I thought it was more towards like where
No,
the
so
hallway.
it is on that carved stone floor that you're on, or that smooth stone floor that you're on now.
Oh,
Right, so you guys have never walked across the ward symbols. But you've flown in and whatever, right?
And that other
God.
creature that was flying got blasted too, right?
In fact, flying creatures have now been blasted at both entrances, both
Okay.
the entrance that you came from and the entrance that you didn't, that eastern entrance.
So we've basically crossed the same kind of path that these other creatures did. They got blasted, we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Zagrin, I think you may be the key to this.
Well, I'm flattered. And I suppose I do believe that I'm destined to accomplish this goal. And he'll kind of like put his foot on one of the wards and like stomp on it. And then like, seems to be okay for now.
You don't explode as you do that, and nothing blasts you into like chunks of Zagrid meat.
Yes.
In that case,
A good start.
and I was there when you discussed your vision and that this wasn't what you saw. So Zagrin says, well, in that case, I don't know that we should dilly-dally around this door any longer. We must continue forward. We must keep exploring. We must see what we can find to match that vision of yours. And if the wards aren't going to stop us, then I see no further obstacles in our path. I believe we should move forward, and I'm going to start walking in towards the east.
Okay. As you move out there a little bit, you see there's this pool of water. There's this
Hold
pool
on.
of water that has a number of those strange creatures in and around it. So far, they're watching you. They don't seem to be moving after you in any way.
I don't get blasted when I step on the wards?
Are we all walking towards that hallway, that eastern hallway?
If I see them going that way, then I will follow. I'm gonna wait for them to go first, though.
Who's
Yeah, I'm
that?
gonna take
You,
I'm gonna
Zagrid
take a
and
step
Figment?
on one.
Say again, Figment?
I'm gonna take a step on one of them just to see.
Yeah, you don't get blasted.
Very interesting. You think if you were to ward something, you wouldn't want intruders getting in? Yeah. Only a certain amount of intruders.
Make me another Arcana check.
Okay. $18.
You're not sure. There's something complex happening here, but what it is, you don't know.
Okay. Right. It turns out we can walk on the floor, kid.
Well, that whole exercise was pointless then.
And we're learning.
Well then, I suppose we have no further reason to delay. Take another couple of steps towards the...
Yeah, so you begin heading out, right? Like, so they're around the middle to the far side of the lake is the nearest that you see those creatures. As you look in, right, you can see that there are none of those structures in here, and there's none of that material on the floor, right? That semi-organic material in this room. Or in this chamber, right? It's a large chamber. Sorry, there's this large chamber with a bunch of rubble and a bunch of these, like some pools of water, some large rocks. There's a large opening. It opens wider to the north, and there's an opening to the southeast. There are a number of bodies in here. The bodies of these charred creatures, or the charred bodies of these blizzards, in their various forms. It smells a lot like kind of roasted and rotting lobster.
Seems that these creatures don't share our same affinity for the wards. Seems to be warding them off quite well.
Why is it letting us through?
Well, so long as it decides to keep doing so, I care little for the reason why.
Are you still feeling drawn a particular way, Zagrin?
It's everywhere at this point. I'm so close. I can feel it. The blinding light. It's both agony and security. It's suffering and sanctuary. It's so close. Do I feel it pull in a particular direction?
Yeah, back towards that door.
It's through the door. I know it, but I know we can't charge headfirst in. We need to find that thing in your vision, and perhaps that'll lead the way, or help us to pass the lie. I don't know. I just know that we can't just sit here so close to it. It's so close that it's burning.
Kit will just lay a hand on Zagrin's arm. You alright?
Never been better. I'm so close to realizing my destiny. I'm here.
Calamity locks eyes with you, Kit. And she holds out her new dragon staff, and it's a ball of fire in the other hand. She goes, "So we burning some bugs, or what's up?"
I guess so.
We must clear a path. All right. You first, Calamity.
All right, so y'all begin heading down the tunnel, right, and presumably towards the that pool. You can kind of go skirting around the edges, or you can go right through. It looks like it doesn't get deeper than waist deep in the pool.
I think I would skirt around the edge, like go around the north side.
All right, as you go around the north side, there are some of those creatures, and they're like some of those smaller, like eyeless ones. Like they hiss at you as you get near, and there's more of that strange chirping sound, but they don't seem to react. They don't go too close. Like you can tell they're leaning out as if they have a desire to do something, but then they They seem to hold themselves back.
Zagran locks eyes with one and just caw.
Nice.
But otherwise keeps moving forward.
Okay. You move further down the tunnel. And as you do so, that material begins appearing on the floor once again. Zagran, as you get to the south end of the room, there's another entryway. Looking through it, there's a lot more of that hive type material. Right, you see the grubs on the wall and the pods. This area now is dimly lit by those pods in the ceiling and along the walls. It looks like there were a number of pillars at the far end of the room. A number of pillars, but they look broken and somewhat broken and toppled over, and others have that nest-like material built around it.
Your vision kit, did it feature this waxy material everywhere?
I think so, right?
It did, absolutely.
Hi, this is what it looked like.
Wonderful. We're getting closer.
Yeah, you continue going further down the tunnel. There's another cliff off to your left, but it's too high for you to see. There is the remnants of some sort of shattered wall ahead of you, and then through that entryway, Zagran, you see what looks like certainly what you would describe as an obelisk. Up ahead. There have been a lot of these creatures, right? Like a lot of these creatures. Now that you're watching, as you get towards this room, however, none seem to get close to it. But you do see up ahead and to the north, there's a strange structure. Looks like it goes 20 feet high into the air-ish. 20 feet high into the air. You're in a fairly large chasm, or fairly large cavern. And as you get into it, Zagran, you can hear this deep humming. This deep humming all around you. You can feel the humming deep down into your core.
Does anyone else feel that? It's different. It's consistent. It's everywhere. Does anyone else feel that?
Do we?
Yeah, so you can hear the humming as you get close. It looks like this material hasn't made it, or there's some of it in this room, but it's not able to get close to that obelisk. But there is Kit, the obelisk from your vision in this room. As Calamity comes in, bringing her light, you can see that it is a deep blue, and it is entirely smooth. There are edges, but every one of those edges is kind of rounded off. It doesn't look like there's any breaks in it anywhere. It just rises straight out of the stone floor. Clearly not made of the same material as the floor. Like there's clearly a break there, but the floor touches up to that obelisk.
I'll just take a step forward and hold my hand out and then bring it back.
As you go to step near it, this wave of disorientation comes over you. I need you to make me a charisma saving throw as you try and approach it.
Okay. Oh. That's bad.
Charisma saving throw. You
Y'all
do
know
something
I have
embarrassing.
a sparkling personality.
There's a reason you get possessed all the time, and high charisma helps prevent that. So,
I rolled a 3, and I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah, you feel like your insides are melting, right? Like it is really bad, right? Like you fall over and you're doubled over in pain. Like by the time you come to, you have been crying. You can taste vomit in your mouth, right? Calamity's pulled you back a little bit was not a good experience.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe it's
Your headache is significantly worse.
maybe it's just something you can do, Zagrin. Oh, that was terrible.
Yes, let me try. And Zagrin will run up.
As you try and get closer, Zagrin, that sound intensifies. You can go ahead and make me your charisma check at advantage.
That was the second time you peed your
Nat
pants
20
today.
for a total 29.
Okay. Okay. So you are able to approach. It's intense, right? But you're focused and you block it out, right? It almost feels like it's trying to destroy your sense of self, right? But you maintain your presence and you walk up. You are close enough that you could touch it. As you get closer, you can feel vibrations in the air, right? And pushing your hand towards it is physically difficult.
Zagrin begins chanting a hymn in praise of the Luxon and tries to just power through.
Yeah, as you do it, as you begin to reach out, you feel, and all of you see the chamber begin to fill with a bright light. As Zagrin's hand makes contact with the pillar, the obelisk. As Zagrin's hand makes contact with the obelisk, light blinds you all, so you can't see into it. It's so momentarily bright. Zagrin, you are suddenly once again standing in that dark room where you've seen the beacon so many times. Ahead of you, you see the beacon itself in the darkness. You can hear voices whispering in the darkness behind you. You try to turn, and you can't turn away from the beacon physically, like you are restrained somehow. But you can feel eyes boring into your back. You can sense the beacon wants something from you.
Anything. Name it and it shall be yours.
You draw closer, and in the beacon you look and you start to see something. You see those people. Throughout your time in the city, in the fallen city, you've seen people held in these stasis bubbles. And they're frozen as if in time. As you watch, you see figures in the bubbles. You see the bubbles flicker, and people move. There's a moment of stumbling, and then they freeze again. And again, right? You see different scenes of different stasis bubbles almost failing intermittently as you watch. Continuing to look at the scene, you see something shifts. And now you see places that you've been through in the fallen city, but not as you've seen them now, but as they would have been before the city fell, right? People moving, these figures, these robed figures, moving around, and people of the city. And then you see this tomb, this entryway that you saw before, with a pair of hooded figures in very ornate robes carrying staffs, and they walk up to the door, and you can hear them speak as they go up to the door. You hear their words, and you don't understand them, but you do understand them at the same time. Right, they're in a language you don't know, but their words have meaning. You hear them speak, and they say, as they approach the door, they say, "The sleeper must never awaken." And as they do so, the door opens to allow them entry.
It shall be done, my goddess.
As you see that, and as you hear that, you can sense that the beacon needs you to find it. Needs you to find it. And you can sense that those time bubbles that you've seen are failing, and that is tied to the beacon in some way. As you step closer, you're able to turn briefly, and you can see in the darkness that figure, the figure that you saw laying on that slab, standing there now in the darkness. They're fairly short, actually, probably around 5 feet, maybe 5.5 tops.
Zagran looks at eye level and sees nothing for a while, and then oh.
But there, in that metal mask, is that figure. They're looking at you, and you can hear that now, a cacophony of voices around you in the dark. As you are separated from the beacon, you stumble back. Kitten Figment, that blinding flash of light goes off, and you see Zagran stumbling away from the beacon. He turns towards you all.
I have it. I can get us through the door. I know what we must do, and we have to do it now. The urgency has never been more. We have to. And Zagran's just going to start, running back in the direction he came.
Okay.
Wait, don't we need to rest? Should you? He's gone already.
I do suggest we get some shut eye, a little. After him then. No telling what he'll do.
Okay.
All right. You run back towards the doorway. You run back towards the doorway. Or yeah, Figment shuffles. And these creatures, as you're going back, there's more and more of them around you and following you. There's more and more around you and following you.
Run to the door, Charlie. Don't stop for anyone, because I got a golden beacon. I
feel like there's
Willy
a reference
Wonka
here
reference?
that I missed.
Willy
Willy
Wonka.
I never watched it. I couldn't I couldn't get myself through that. Yeah.
Oh.
But Zagran is ignoring those. Zagran's ignoring anything and is just running as fast as he can.
Yeah, you run over to the beacon, or you run over to the doorway, right? Getting there well ahead of the others. What do you want to do?
The sleeper must never awaken, and I'll say that in whatever language I heard those other folks say it in.
Okay, so the problem is you don't know that language, right? You don't know that language, so you can try it in one of your languages.
Yeah, I will first try to do it based on just phonetically stating it in the same way. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to start with Common, Elvish, Orc, and Undercommon in that order.
Let's roll me a wisdom check. Just give me a raw wisdom check. See if you can do it the way you got it. Or perform. I'll take a performance, actually.
A performance? 21.
You nail it. You nail it phonetically. Right, the door begins to slide. Those of you that are further back, as the door begins to slide, you see the creatures begin really charging forward, right? Like they start to get really intense as they rush in, hearing the door. Let's say you all are like there may be 10 feet behind you as they begin moving en masse towards this doorway. Kit, Figment, and Calamity, what are we doing? Calamity's just gonna do whatever you do, Kit. So,
We just gotta make it to the ruins.
Yeah, we're booking it to try to get there.
all right, so you begin running. You begin running, but lightning begins cracking as these things start going, and the towers just start blasting off at these things, a number of which are directly behind you all. I'll take a. Let's give me this. I'll roll for Calamity. Kit and Figment, I want you each to roll me a d4.
No.
1.
Great.
3.
Okay. Kit, you and Calamity are directly in one of these bolts of lightning. I need each of you to make me a dexterity saving throw. And I can roll for Calamity.
23.
Now, not useful. There we go. There we go. This is the music we need. 23. All right, so you avoid the worst of it. Calamity, however, well, she also avoids the worst of it. She's not quite as good at that as you are. She takes an additional 9 points of lightning damage as these towers begin throwing up bolts of lightning at these creatures, but they are coming in. You see those iron golems step forward, brandishing their swords and shields as hordes of these things begin pouring in while the door is open. Zagrin, turning and looking as the door opened. These creatures that have been watching are just rushing out, right? Rushing out towards you all. They're filling the space where Kit and Calamity and Figment are moving across. What would you like to do? You have a moment looking.
I suppose Zagrin looked back, but I'm not quite sure that he even would, as he glances over his shoulder for half a second and pretends that he doesn't see anything wrong with what's going on, and he's going to continue forward.
Nice. Okay. Kit and Figment, let's go. Each one of you. How are we going to try and cross this gap before these creatures swamp it, and or these guardians get in your way?
So, what is the terrain? Where are we at?
So you're now on the smooth ground. You're now on the smooth ground with the run up to the entryway there, right? The guardians at the at either side of the stairs have stepped forward and pulled out and are beginning to ready their swords to attack this like absolute mob of these creatures that have begun to rush at the entrance to the tomb.
I want to try and to Murdo, I'll just say, fly high and try to stay clear. And I'll try to use these creatures as shields, basically, to dart between them as they're rushing to just use their bodies as shields.
All right. Do you want to make me maybe an acrobatics check?
Yes, I do. I would love to.
Try and never be the number one target for one of these creatures.
Yeah, so that is a 28.
Okay. Great. So that's you. What about... I want you to think about what Calamity's going to be doing while Figment figures out what he's doing.
Figment is going to, he's kind of hobbling as fast as he possibly can until he gets close to 30 feet. Until he gets close to the Guardians so that he can pull out a scroll and then start reading it, and he's just going to Misty Step over to Zagrin.
Roll me an Arcana check, because as you try and teleport in, something begins something in the wards begin fucking with your magic. And in fact, you see those wards on the floor beginning to light up brightly.
19.
You pull through, like you are able to materialize on the far side, but you are shaken, and you feel like something was trying to keep you from materializing, perhaps ever, as you did that. Right, this was not a safe move, but you're now on the stairs, and that horde is continuing to move towards you. And Kit is now just about at the base of the stairs.
Figment kind of freezes there, and he looks around, and he's a bit kind of like not there anymore, as he's like, you see him really thinking about something. He's looking, he's like, what is this?
Kit, what are you gonna do?
So this staff of hers, what does it do again?
It's really good at making fire.
It could just do like fire on.
It can do
command.
all kinds of interesting fire things.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think I understand, or I don't think she understands the like what the projectile things are exactly. Is it like lightning, actual lightning?
Yeah, those were actual lightning for sure. Calamity does have spells like Misty Step and things that she can try and use. If you want to give that a shot.
It's totally safe.
She can try running for it. She can try magic. You could potentially try and help her if you're willing to put yourself in danger.
I was just wondering, like, if she shoots fire, like at the rays of lightning, like if it does anything, like as she's running.
At the lightning, no,
Okay.
That wouldn't do anything. So they're lightning bolts, right? These things are shooting lightning bolts out, and they're starting to do it pretty damn fast as they're blasting out into these crowds.
I think she'll just make a run for it, and Kit will be like, Kit will just be like, hurry, and then she'll kind of run out a little bit into the fray, I guess, and try to like grab her and hurry her along.
Okay. Okay. Give me just one sec. Okay. So if you wanna share the risk with her, we'll let her roll a check with advantage to get through. But if she fails, you're gonna share whatever consequence she gets. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. With your help, she's able to dart through and make it to the stairs. She steps under a swing of one of these enormous swords that comes cleaving through a number of these creatures. And as she crosses the wards in front of a horde of these creatures, as she does so, there is this blast from that semicircle of the wards, another thing that just sends those creatures, those blizzards, flying back, many dead or disintegrated, but more are starting to pour through from other places, right? Like this is more than you've seen in your entire time here, are pouring through. And looking up at the cliff top, you see that figure with the staff, watching as these creatures are pouring down into the wards.
Can we make it inside? Can we make it?
So you
Zagran?
run inside. Is there anything you want to do before we go to whatever's down there and inside?
I mean,
I know Figment's kind of like tranced out. He's gonna eventually turn around and go in like, no, yeah.
All right, as you go in, there's this cacophony outside. And you begin stepping down into the tomb of the sleeper. And we're actually going to end it right there.
No.
Right there
Come
as we enter the tomb
on.
of the sleeper. Okay,
Oh,
folks,
shit.
that's been a lot of fun. If you enjoyed today's episode, it was brought to you by Heroes Die Show, a show that you can find most Saturdays, as I said previously, 8:30 to 11:30 Central Time, right here on the internet. Press the buttons, do your thing, hang out with us sometime. It's pretty cool. And that's it. Good night or good day. Enjoy your Saturday, folks. See ya.